Welcome to Week 1 of the Chewelah Premier Fantasy League, brought to you by Sunblaze Warrior 15. I'm your host, Sunblaze Warrior, and with me for this one, and from now on, is Cypress.
Thanks, Sunblaze. We had a lovely week of action, plenty of exciting matchups to talk about. Let's get into it.
Let's start by looking at the club trades that happened even before the season began.
Starting with Angry Bird Athletics' acquisition of Bournemouth's Araujo for Ipswich Town's Ben Johnson.
I believe Araujo will be a helping hand in defense of this side. He played well in MLS and he should do no worse in the Premier League. Next, we've got Huckleberry Hotspur's pickup of the new Arsenal signing, Calafiori, in defense, in exchange for Tottenham's Destiny Udogie.
We will see how well this transfer pans out. I'm not totally sure how well Calafiori will fit into Arteta's system, but only time will tell. Next, Hudson Odoi from Forest joins Mountain Villa after Gallagher left Chelsea for Atletico Madrid.
That's a pretty straightforward decision for the manager of Mountain Villa. Next up, we've got the new West Ham signing, Nicholas Fulkrug, being picked up by Cyprus FC in exchange for Brentford's Igor Thiago.
I dropped Thiago because he doesn't start for Brentford, but neither does Fulkrug, so my attack is still by far the weakest part of my squad. In other news, AFC Sunblaze got Manchester United's Mainu for Leicester City's De Kutavai.
Yes, I dropped Deckard over Reed because I saw that Mainu had not been picked up by any squad, and I watched his prowess unfold at the Euro tournament this summer. I am sure that he will do well for United, and for me. The last team to make transactions was FC Varka, who made 4 before the season even began. Man U's De Ligt replaced Arsenal's Vinchenko. Teammates Smith Rowe and Wilson switched places, as do Jorgensen and Petrovic. Liverpool men Jarell Kwanzaa and Joe Gomez also switched places.
It doesn't seem like FC Varka's manager is very confident in his squad. We will see how well he performs in the coming weeks. Now, let's see what happens with this week's matchups.
Our first match of the week is also one of the most exciting, Angry Bird Athletic versus Mountain Villa. And with underrated pick Kai Havertz at the helm, the home side was able to put up a first week high 57 points. There was nothing Mountain Villa was able to do, as they scored just 36 points. Though poor in last season's fantasy league, the manager of Angry Bird Athletic is hopeful to pull off a decent season like this year. We've got him on call here at the studio.
Last year, your club struggled in the league. How does this win affect your confidence going into this season? And how are you planning on maintaining this momentum?
I think I just have to put a lot of trust in my players. Although we struggled last year, I believe we've come out with a team that's confident in its own ability to score points. I'm looking to keep players that are staying consistent and aiming for the top of the table.
Very wise words from the manager of Angry Bird Athletic. He seems to be getting his club on track and aimed in the right direction.
In the next matchup, AFC Sunblaze takes on Toddy's Boys and takes home the victory, with help from starman Mateo Kovacic and strong players Diogo and Jamie Vardy being crucial in the victory. The scoreline was 42-48, and that means that while Toddy's Boys lost, they still put up enough numbers to defeat most other sides. Toddy's Boys notoriously struggled last season, so this start is looking like a much-needed confidence booster for the Swedish club. The next 2 matches were by far the closest of the week, the first being FC Varka at Huckleberry Hotspur. The scoreline was incredibly close, with the Spurs just edging the victory with a 40-42 scoreline with the help from lead point scorer Wissa from Brentford. Last season, the Spurs took the league by storm and were dominant all season, winning almost every match by around 10 points. This start, despite being a victory, might be a sign of the mortality of the dominating club, but it is the opening match, so there is no telling for certain. This match was by far the closest. Average took on Osignac and lost by 1 point with a scoreline of 36-37. Mo Salah absolutely carried Osignac with 14 points, and not many other players scored much of note. A victory nonetheless for the human team.
In the next match, Newcastle United hosted Real Chewelah, last year's last-place team. The Romanian side was not able to turn from its normal ways, as it fell to their opponents by a considerable margin in a 46-20 defeat. Bukayo Saka led the victors with 12 individual points. Cyprus FC versus the Hive is next. This was by far the lowest scoring match, and although Cyprus was only able to put up a meager 30 points, he was still able to take home the W, while the Hive scored 17, the lowest in the league. The 2 Brighton players, Danny Welbeck and Kadu Matoma, were Cyprus' saviors on the day, but he should still be considering himself lucky that he came away with the result he wanted. In our final match of the week, the U.S. Air Force took on Tommy in a last-minute thriller of a win for a 33-31 tightrope walk for both managers. In the end, it was Tommy's lack of squad depth that did him in. He had 3 players on his field that did not make an appearance in the Premier League this week. Finally, we conclude with our Team of the Week. And our Premier League Player of the Week, Osignak's Mohamed Salah. I know it's a day late, which is a bad look on my quote regular upload schedule unquote, but I've been having some technical difficulty, so give me a break, guys. It's here, isn't it? Well, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, subscribe, and see ya!